Welcome to the B-Sides and Beers podcast.
Welcome to B-Sides and Beers, episode 70. Tonight we're digging into part 3 of our 3-part Woodstock quick hit series and focusing on Woodstock 99. Quite possibly the final one of all time ever.
What are we drinking, boys?
Wow, what a shit show that
Whose
was.
turn is it to go first before we even get into that? I think it's
Dave's turn to go first.
I don't know whose turn it is now. It's not mine.
I've got something
Go
good
for it.
just because of the let's just say the notoriety of 99. I picked up something quite nice here. I've got Persephone, which is one of my favorites. They make a really good stout. And they just make really good dark beer in general. So this is a hazy ISA, and the cover is really nice. It says a local beer that supports the locals. Proceeds from this brew go to Sunshine Coast Community Food Box Program.
Nice.
So I thought this would be, a multi-farm project intended to add value, nutrition, and stability to the Sunshine Coast food system. So I thought
That's
was
a nice balance to what we're about to talk about. That's a good contrast. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Sits a little closer to 69 than it does 99.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that. That's good. Mike, what do you got?
I have from Vancouver Island Brewing a Mystic Haze Pale Ale.
Mr. Haze. Yeah, there you go. I like those
Oh,
cans.
nice.
Yeah, wolves on there.
Yeah, I love that can.
Yeah, it's nice.
The Wolf.
Can't go wrong
So,
with
yeah,
pale
it's
ale.
Nope.
Fantastic. And I sandwiched this, and I got another Hoyne Brewing Company, and this is the Fiesta Ale. The Fiesta
Oh, yeah,
Ale,
cool.
yeah, and another
Nice.
novel here from Sean, but it's very nicely written again. Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm going to give it a go. I don't know much behind it, other than I'm thinking it's tasting like a cerveza kind of maybe. I don't know. I'll let you guys know how it is, but it's a fiesta. It's a party. It's a party. And speaking of a party, Woodstock 99 on the Air Force Base.
Mm-hmm.
In 7,000
God.
degree heat with expensive water. How can you go wrong?
How could you go wrong?
So Michael Lang, again, we're just like, okay, he almost got it 94, and you would have thought 99 would have been the, let's just say, the gem of the trilogy.
Yep.
But how did this go so fucking wrong? I think it was because it was on a tarmac
That was the big
on a
part.
fucking Air Force base.
Well, the biggest part is when they go into it knowing that they're only doing it to make a profit.
Yeah.
Like that was 100% focus of the promoters and everyone that set it up is we will make profit. So you cut all the corners you possibly can to make profit.
And they did that. They did that quite well,
Yeah.
like cutting corners, right? I mean, between the bathroom situation and the lack thereof and the lack of drinking
man.
water and, yeah, just the lack of
$4
basic
bottle of
amenities
water
for
and no
human
shade.
life. And,
Yeah.
you know,
man.
things go wrong real fast. But, yeah, just you're right, though.
And then you throw new metal
Right.
at that.
And, you know, and that's
Throw a bunch
that's
of
the thing.
fucking angry, angsty.
There's no way he knew that this lineup was going to who this lineup even was. Like, if anybody would have seen this lineup, if you would have shown that to anybody, they would have said, "This is gonna be a problem." Like, and especially
nothing
this, like,
peaceful about
I don't
this.
know who did the planning of who came on next, but it was like. It got like worse and worse and worse, and then like, just
Yeah.
like, and now we're gonna bring
Yeah.
out Rage Against the Machine.
It went Limp Biscuit, Rage Against the Machine, telling everyone, "Fuck you, I'm not going to do what you tell me," and then Metallica.
Yeah, and then go and to the party tent and go listen to the Chemical Brothers at 3 a.m.
No one's sleeping, no one's eating,
No one's drinking water anyway.
no one's drinking.
No, but you got to think that like you must have ran out of your booze like early. If you snuck anything in there, that was gone a long time ago, right? So, you know.
Oh, it's just illicit drugs being passed around. I think this is why things
And I
went
think
so
that probably
sideways.
ended like dried up too, probably at one point, right? Like everybody's probably only could bring so much in.
Well, they probably got people throwing stuff over that
Yeah,
fence.
or just breaking down the fence.
bags of pills, throw it over.
Goodness, yeah.
Right?
It's just unreal, man. But yeah, like the lineup, there's nothing peace and love about that.
No.
You know, you've got these peace and love chill bands sprinkled in, but I mean, damn.
I mean, I think for those who have watched this documentary on Netflix, I think the guy I felt the worst for was Gavin Rossdale when in that interview, and I was like, you know what? Like, I got a newfound respect for that guy. That's a tough act to follow and a tough crowd to come out to, and he did it. And
chilled
Yeah.
them
yeah,
out.
they made it through there, and they made it through that set, and that's a tough spot for that band to be in, you know.
Yep.
But wow, it just there was some of those acts that were whoever planned out the schedule on that one. It was like, you know,
So just context, Korn was before
Yeah.
Bush.
Yes.
And apparently everyone was there to see Korn.
Yes.
They did their thing.
yes, thank
People
you,
were
Epic show.
frothing at the mouth.
Yeah.
And then
yeah. And then Bush comes out
Just
with
just
Glycerin.
that,
Glycerin.
Rossdale walks out.
just that build up for Blind though. Holy shit.
yeah.
For Korn when it comes, it's just the did it, and they just dragged it on, did it, and you can just see the crowd just building and building. As soon as that "Are You Ready" kicks in, damn.
Well, and that's the thing. This
Yeah.
is that we were talking about
Explodes.
'94 catching some of those groups at their height, and this is what this was. This was catching these
Yep.
new metal bands or whatever you want to call them, whatever this was in '99 at their peak. When we're talking about Limp Bizkit, we're talking about Korn. You know, like all these bands are at the height of their peak of their fame, and
Yeah.
wow,
Especially Limp Bizkit. I mean, their second album came out not too long before
Yeah.
that, and
Yeah.
you know they were bigger than Korn at the time for MTV wise. When you're looking at just the certain tracks like Break Stuff and Nookie, and it was just everywhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you guys probably know this, but for anybody else, I remember this very well because I was very ill on the couch in 1999, and my dad bought me the pay-per-view of Woodstock 99, which
Nice.
I proceeded to videotape the entire thing from start to finish. So I had this for years, but like it was like the greatest thing in the world you could imagine. And at age 18, sitting on the couch, all it is just naked girls, the best music of what's going on right now, and like naked girls. Like it's just like that's like all they're
focused
showing
on.
on pay-per-view. And I'm just like, this is like no holds barred, and like it was awesome like to watch it all, and you could see it all kind of unfolding on pay-per-view. And just you could feel like it going south even from my couch. Like it was just like
Yeah.
you could
Yeah.
get a sense of it, right? And they're just like showing the band. There's just like guys like walking amongst like the concourse and like around the base, like with the camera. And it's just like people just like flashing and just like doing drugs and like just right on camera. It was just like the wildest scene ever. I'm like, what is going on there? Like it just, it looks so wild even from the pay-per-view, and they just allowed them to do anything. And it was kind of cool that they interviewed the pay-per-view guy in the 99 documentary, and he was like, I could do whatever I wanted. Like,
Right.
So,
No security, no cops, no organization, no anything.
yeah, and that was crazy too when they talked about them switching and selling their like piece of their T-shirts, the like crew T-shirts or
yeah.
whatever, selling those, and like, it was.
Where will that shirt get you? Anywhere. I'll get you backstage. Sells it for like $200.
I can't believe like we're like looking at the documentary. There's this one point where it's like Fatboy Slim is in the rave tent or whatever.
Yep.
And all of a sudden there's like a van or a truck
it was a
being
van.
driven through the crowd.
Van.
Yeah.
And the driver
And
was
like
so messed up.
someone has stolen a truck and is driving it through the like this is just a testament to how off the fucking rocker it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of really gnarly bad stuff was happening. And then it cuts to the promoters and they're just like, well, you know, if you look at it, it's about the same size population-wise as a city. And in a city, bad shit happens. So
It's a couple
you
bad
figured it
eggs.
was probably, you know, normal, par for the course.
It's a couple bad
And
eggs.
you're like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
this is
But it,
terrible.
but you know, it's like that East Coast, like 1999 East Coast. It's a totally different kind of. I don't even know how to describe it, but like if you spend time out there, it's like a macho kind of, attitude that's out there,
Frat
and it's.
boy.
Like Jersey
Yeah, like
Shore,
that kind of thing, and
kind
that's
of.
what the clientele is, right? Like that is coming to this in 1999, right? And that it just is a recipe for disaster in all ways. And you know, I told Nicole after we watched it, I'm like, you know, would this like happen again? And it's like, no, because it's so many of these big festivals are happening now, and that kind of stuff doesn't happen, right? Like Coachella goes off every year without somebody, you know. None of that happening, right? Like these happen all the time now. So it's like, what happened? You know, like to make this one. I mean, obviously it's a perfect storm of all these things, but like, you know, it's been hot at festivals before. It's been, you know, bad bathrooms, bad
I
water.
think
We've all been to those festivals where you're
it's-
like, this is a dump, you know?
Yeah.
They just cut corners so bad, and there was so many people there. I think. I mean, I don't know, and then you just take a look at like the late '90s, early 2000s aggressive
Yep.
music.
Yep.
It was very, you know, like you said, machoistic, aggressive, and things just got. It was a recipe for disaster. The Coachella seems to like, as far as it's branded, it's more of like inclusive. Everyone's going to have a great time. Where 99, I mean, when you look through it, I mean, shit, there's a lot of, it's like Godsmack, Megadeth, DMX.
Ice
it's just a
Cube,
lot of
heavy.
like male posturing, and like when you have a like 100,000 people doing that,
And what
how
about
do you control that?
what about Serial Joe?
You know what? I had to watch Serial Joe today just to remind myself. I was like, I know I should know who these kids are,
Oh,
but
it's so awful. But yeah, they were on the emerging artist stage
right, along with Big Sugar.
along with Big Sugar.
Oh, I remember watching the Tragically Hip performance too. It was at
Yeah.
like I don't know, 12 o'clock in the afternoon kind of thing. They were the first ones of the day, and there was nobody there. Like I was, of course, front and center, ready to go on it, and there was nobody listening to them. Nobody cared. Nobody.
Really?
No. It was like,
I'm amazed they were even on that bill.
Don't tell me what the poets
yeah,
are
there's a few
doing.
people in the
that was
crowd
about it,
there
yeah.
that were like trickling in,
Yeah.
but you know, knowing the landscape of what happened during this, obviously, you know, they didn't have a good night the night before, so
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There's like Rusted Root. They tried to pepper in some like Love and Peace a little bit.
Yeah.
You can see
there's like Bruce Hornsby that played. Like there was some weird ones too that came out there, right? Jewel, like Jewel played there. Like,
Oh yeah,
there-
Alanis Morissette.
yeah. Like it just it
ICP.
feels-
I mean, why could they not chill everyone out?
yeah. I don't know, but it feels like
Juggalos running around
with
with their
Coachella too.
face
Go
painted
back to
and
that,
knives in
like
hand and-
is there like naked girls like crowd surfing like there was at this one. Like,
Probably not to that extent, but they also had security at Coachella's.
yeah.
They had.
I've never been to
But
one.
you know what I mean?
can
Like, it's probably
imagine.
not like that, I would assume, right? Like, it just,
Yeah.
it's a different time, I guess. Like,
I think there's probably just more security.
Yeah.
I mean, like, as far as I understand, 99, they didn't have security.
At all.
They had a
Like,
couple
when-
dudes who were just there to party. And I think that was they're trying to, like, keep the vibe of 69 and 94 going, where, like, 69 it was wavy gravy, like, yo, man, watch out for that brown acid, but besides that, love and peace. And they tried that in 99. It just, I mean, didn't translate 30 years later.
it didn't.
Well, when
Just
you
didn't.
you look back at '69, where people were, it was a community. You know,
Yeah.
parts of it were a community where people cared about where they were and they cleaned up after themselves. Now, going back to that documentary where that one woman, she's driving around and everyone's complaining about all the garbage because nobody's cleaning up the trash, and she's like, okay, well, I'm going to drive around in my golf cart and pass out garbage bags, and everyone will be a community like they were in '69. And everyone's going to help out. It's like, fuck you. I paid $250 for my ticket. You clean it up. Like it's unreal. And even so much of this would have been saved if they would have gave out free water all weekend. They would
Yeah.
have sucked out and power washed the shitters every day and picked up some garbage.
Fair enough.
A lot
yeah.
of the rage and the hatred would have settled, I think. But when you get to day 2 and you notice that there is zero security and there's zero cops, so now I can do whatever I want to whomever I want, and then you get to day 3 and everyone's so pissed off, where you're sleeping in mud and shit, and all the porta potties
sunstroked
and sunstroke because you have nowhere to go. When
Yeah.
you see those people hiding under trucks and cars for shade, and it's just the sun's just beating off the tarmac. Oh man!
Yeah, it must have been hell.
And no
I
water.
remember that. There's that shot of that guy, that one scene in that documentary where he's got like one of those 18-liter jugs or whatever. And he's just like pouring it on the crowd. Like, I'm like, what a waste. Like, he's just like sprinkling it on the crowd and it's gone in like 3 seconds. I'm like,
Yeah. Every band should have had a fire hose on stage and
exactly, right?
someone spraying down the
The
audience.
juxtaposition to that and what was going on backstage though was funny, right? Like P Diddy's walking
Oh,
around
yeah.
backstage with his
all corporate. Here's free stuff.
Here you go, right? Like,
You want free kicks? You want free?
not that it's a
everything,
big
here you go.
surprise, right? But it's just funny what's going on behind the
Yeah.
fence. It's like, peasants on the other side.
Yeah, kings on one side, peasants on the
Exactly.
other.
Yeah, but the peasants still, I mean, like, as bad as things got,
Mm-hmm.
they still showed up, and there was still
Oh yeah.
amazing amount of people in front of these stages that
Yeah.
just partied.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what really blows my mind. And
Who's
it's funny because at the very end of the video, there's a couple people, and they're like, yeah, as bad as it was the best time of my life.
Yeah.
It was greatest, man. It was the greatest. And I told Mike, like, they showed at the end there, like, oh, Michael Lang passed away like 3 months after this was recorded. And I mean, God rest his soul. But like, am I supposed to feel bad? Like, was that
Yeah.
done for a reason? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
yeah, like that's
It's not
unfortunate.
going to change anything that you did this all for profit and you effed everyone over for the dollars, and then his partner, the promoter,
That
old
guy's
bald
worse.
dude.
That guy's the
Oh,
worst.
That guy's
Wow.
terrible.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't even remember his name,
Yeah.
but he was in there lots. And to be perfectly honest, I can't even believe that guy agreed to be in, and Michael Lang agreed to be in this documentary.
Totally.
I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
This is going to be on Netflix?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And how positively he was speaking about the whole event as well after.
Oh,
the
yeah.
fact.
Still buttering it up like
Yeah.
it was like the greatest thing ever. Like it all went off without a hitch, right? Like
Yeah.
that guy. And even the very first thing when he was like with James Brown too, and he, well,
yeah.
So
James
awesome.
Brown wants to be
James
paid in
Brown's not
cash. He's
playing
like, well, I
until he
told
gets
him to
Yeah.
go shove it up his ass or whatever, right? Like, oh, great. Like, you told James Brown, like, to, you know, great. You told him, you know, like,
Yeah, big tough guy.
God. That guy's the worst. The worst.
I'm on a duffel bag
Yeah.
before I go on stage.
Yep. He's been fucked over so many times in his career too. It's just you pay me
awesome.
or else.
Awesome. Major festival. He's like 80 at that time
Yep.
in cash.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, like,
that's-
I mean, when you look at the lineup, it's pretty stellar.
That's great.
But people still wanted that ultimate closer.
Oh, yeah.
They still wanted the Jimi Hendrix at 9 a.m. And I just love it how they're just like, okay,
rumors.
Yeah.
Done.
Well, and they
Rolling
told
Stones are
everybody,
coming
like,
through.
why do you
Right.
do that? Oh, like Santa's coming, and then like you put up a video of Jimi Hendrix playing, like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, you build it up
okay.
to that point and you still give them nothing.
Great. And I mean, come on, the candles, if you are
Dumb.
that out of touch with that, you cannot read that crowd that you're gonna now pass out fire to every single one of these crazy MFs. Like, come on.
yeah.
I mean, you don't know what's going on then. Like, you know.
Oh, man.
And I like that guy with the beard too in that documentary, but like still he's like telling everybody, well, I told them, like, well, awesome, man. Like, but it still happened. So,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah. But talk about like different ends of the spectrum. I mean, 69 and 99.
It's nuts.
I guess you could put 94 in the middle. Yeah.
Well, who
Just
it's
two.
totally different, man. Yeah, and like bookends too at the same time, but like it feels like 94
Yeah.
was almost like the one that got it right. You know, that figured it out.
And the one that no one really talks
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
It seems
it got
like
over both. You know, the 69 and 99 were so overshadowing. Where you've got the nostalgia factor of 69, where you know everyone sees it in video or as being this magical time of, you know, drugged up elves going around in a field playing, listening to music, and then you've got Woodstock 99 that is pure hell.
Yeah.
Of course, 94 is forgettable after those.
It is. Yeah. I almost want to see the
Guess so.
94 documentary now. Let's see that one, you know, like they got
Yeah.
lots of stuff
Yeah.
on that one still, but yeah, the 99 lineup is solid from front to back. Like when you actually look at it and see who played, it's like it's very good. It's a very good lineup even in today's standards. It's still I'd still go see all those bands probably if they were playing today, right?
would you go through it? Would you go through that hell just to see this lineup?
And that's the thing I was going to ask you guys. I mean, okay, like if I have to pick like the performance of each festival, who is the best performance of each festival? I'm like, maybe I pick Hendrix in 69, maybe I pick 9 Inch Nails in 94, but I don't know who I pick in 99, you know?
I would take Korn, I think, for 99.
It was a great performance, no question about it.
I would
Yep.
take Korn.
Yeah, and it was cool that Jonathan Davis was in that documentary too. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
That was neat. But there's lots of good ones. Like there's lots of great performances throughout.
Well, even Dave Matthews.
Well, there was everybody there. That's the thing. They had that too.
Yeah.
They had some
Yeah.
of that too. They had, like I said, they had Jewel, they had Bush, they had Dave Matthews, they had Tragically Hip, they had Serial
Yeah.
Joe. What else do you need? I can't believe they played there.
My name is Kid.
A great performance, and that was right before Limp Bizkit too.
Serial
No,
Joe?
Kid Rock,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh,
Kid
Kid.
That was right before that too. So that was.
Was he? No, it was Alanis Morissette.
Oh, was
right
it?
Before
Oh, was it?
Limp Bizkit.
It was the same.
It was
Oh, yeah,
because
it
Yeah, it was
too.
like maybe right before that.
I remember Fred Durst made a big thing about it.
Yeah.
He was like, Alanis Morissette wants you to mellow out. I want you guys to fucking break shit and burn stuff down. And they're like, yeah. And they did. And then Rage went on, and then Metallica went on.
But it was all Fred Durst's fault. It was all
Yeah.
the whole tragedy of the entire weekend.
But that's what I wanted
Limp
to see.
Bizkit.
That's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to see Limp Bizkit.
Yep.
And when they went on stage, that was probably one of the first times I've ever seen Limp Bizkit play live.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
I mean, just Wes Borland alone, he was all
man.
weird and
It was a great performance.
makeup. I don't know.
Seeing them all crouched on the stage and rocking back and forth.
They didn't know what was going on, but it was something.
Yeah.
It was definitely something.
But it was nice. It was cool too that they didn't give a fuck like about what was going on. You got John Otto and you got Wes Borland and Fred. They're all on the stage and they're just pushing it.
Yeah, they are. And what's terrible is in that documentary they show not Wes Borland, but they show what's his face? Sorry,
Bass or Fred Durst?
lead singer of
Fred Durst.
Fred Durst. And he's like, "It wasn't our fault, man.
It wasn't my fault.
It wasn't our fault."
It wasn't my fault.
Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Just for the
ego,
record.
man. It was just unreal. Just for the record, not
And
my
same
fault.
thing with Red Hot Chili Peppers too, right? I mean, coming out there and playing
Yeah.
Fire, I mean,
Yeah, what the hell, man?
Oh yeah.
you're just inciting it. But I mean, he said that somebody from the Jimi Hendrix foundation or the family was backstage, and they were like, no, they're not doing anything for my father. They're doing no tribute. So then they said, can you play a Jimi Hendrix tune? And then that's what they said. That's how they did it.
Yeah.
So they happened to pick
That's the
Fire.
Most appropriate.
Yeah, exactly.
song.
Not All on the Watchtower or The Wind Cries Merry, but
Yeah.
let's do Fire.
Yeah.
When they've just handed out candles.
Fire, burn, fire.
Yeah.
So which one out of all three? Which one would you boys want to go?
94. 94.
I gotta
69.
go 69 too.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. But 94 is close. That's close. I remember wanting to go. I remember wanting to go to 94 and to 99. I remember both of those. I wanted to. Of course, neither of them was ever going to probably happen, right? Like, never. 94
Yeah.
definitely not. 99 maybe, but I was 18 and had no money, so. And now I'm 42 and have no money.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think 69. I think when I look at that lineup and I look at the time, that lineup in 69 is just, it's so good. It's so good. And again, still bands that I would see to this day.
Sly and the Family Stone, The Who, Jefferson Airplane. There you go.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah, even
good
that
time.
Richie
It's
Havens,
just-
man.
That just seems like a
that
good
Richie
time.
Havens performance off the very beginning.
Oh, man.
Oh, he's just playing with
Thumb.
his fucking
Yeah.
thumb, and you're like,
Yeah.
what?
They wouldn't let him off
No,
stage. Everyone was
yeah.
so backed up. He was on there for
Yeah,
hours.
they said he played like 3
Like
hours.
7
because
encores.
the other band was caught in traffic, so they just told him to keep going out there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
It's like, I'm done. I got nothing left. Get on there. You keep playing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Oh man. Yeah.
But
Santana.
I don't know.
Oh.
There's so many there. But again, at the time in '99, if you would have asked me, I probably would have said '99 because I wanted to go see all those bands that were playing then, right? Like,
Yeah.
That's interesting. You put
Yeah.
it that way. I mean,
yeah. '94, I was like, yeah, let's go see all these bands and all this, But even '69, I'm like, I'd still go see all those right now. You know?
it was just the wrong venue for '99. I mean, it was. Yes. Again, look at the roster. It's fucking amazing, but it's just like putting a bunch of rats in a bucket and lighting a
Yeah.
flame underneath it.
Oh yeah, like
it's-
we want to talk about Primal.
Yeah.
I mean, this was like Primal in its purest sense. Deprive
Yeah.
people of their basic human rights, and they're going to go absolutely crazy on you, and rightfully so, right? Like that's what you get.
Yeah.
So
And it happened quick. It was like, you're stuck in prison, and it's, for the most part, normal people, normal everyday, walk past on the street people, and you do that 3 days in a row. Now you got a prison riot, and they're blowing up truck trailers and propane tanks.
oh, that morning after shot, then when they showed that going
Damn.
through, it was like, yeah,
fucking
war zone. Yeah, total war zones like
Yeah.
Amsterdam on a Sunday morning, right? Like it's just
Damn, what a Sunday.
yeah.
I've seen some crazy shit. Amsterdam on a
Absolutely,
Sunday
right?
morning,
Like
so-
it's you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Did you do any little diggings in on the info of the thought or rough planning that they started to do on Woodstock 50? Because it was somewhat in the works for a little while.
When was this supposed to be?
I missed the dates here, but it was, how was it?
2000.
Because they were talking like Jay-Z was supposed to be on it, and 2019 was the list.
That was 50 years later, 19?
That's what it says here. 79 or 69 to 19.
Interesting. I never had heard this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was talks of it, and they were trying to put it together, and just nobody would touch it.
The Woodstock
Again,
name is officially
Michael
tainted,
Lang
and it's
trying to put
officially
it
tainted
together
even
and-
more after that documentary. Like, you
Yeah.
can't,
So
Oh,
can't
yeah.
call it that anymore.
Yeah.
there's no way.
Yeah. They won't. You can call it pretty much anything else but that. Really, you know.
Yeah, they couldn't get a venue. They couldn't get anything. What was it? The planned lineup was the Killers for August 16th. The Killers, Miley Cyrus, Santana, Lumineers, Raconteurs, Robert Plant. Like there was a big list. I mean, John Fogerty was on there. Run the Jewels.
So same kind of thing, trying to mix the old and the new. Yeah.
Totally,
Yeah.
totally. Akon.
Akon.
Who the hell else is on here? Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty big list. Oh, the best one on the list though was the Greta Van Fleet.
Oh, yeah.
I mean Led Zeppelin. I mean,
on stage.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. So that was in talks, and then it fell through. So.
It feels like these big festivals are like all the time
Thankfully.
now, right? Like it feels like I look at all these the summer festivals that are coming out. I look at the bills, and it's just like the biggest bands in the world ever that are all playing at these festivals all together at once, all the time. You know, it's
Yeah, there's no need for the labeling of Woodstock anymore.
Yeah.
Because there's so many big.
yeah, and they're playing in like the middle of Alabama, like, and it's like Metallica. Like it's huge bands that are playing these things still, right? Because I think they're all trying to get out there now too, right?
You
Yeah.
have to.
So
It's been so long with nothing.
yeah. So I think that the Woodstock name is dead. I think you just got to kind of bury it, especially after this whole.
Yeah.
If anybody didn't know about it in '99 or didn't know about it, then they can watch what it was like. It's a pretty good documentary in that sense. It pretty much paints the picture of what went down. So,
What not
yeah,
to do.
what not
how
to
not
do.
to organize.
Maybe that's what that was for future festivals. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
But Michael Lang is not a part of that. So,
Yeah. R.I.P.
rest in peace, Michael Lang. Thanks for the music.
Whatever.
But
And whatever.
yeah.
All right, we want you guys to subscribe, share, and review this podcast. Keep it going, keep it strong, because we're having a great time entertaining you guys with B-Sides and Beers podcast.